Depression played a large part in my eviction. But if I'm being truly honest and taking accountability for my actions, me mismanaging money, mismanaging my time, being rude to people, and choosing to stay in a cycle that I knew was doing me no good are also very important reasons why I became homeless in 2020. Welcome back to 413 Vision TV. My name is Queen Marie, and I am so happy that you have clicked on this video and decided to join us this week. This week, we will be diving into a story time. I will be describing in great detail my experience being homeless last year at the height of the pandemic. I need to say trigger warning because I will be getting very graphic in order to make a serious point. I did not start making moves to find a home for myself until I took accountability for why I ended up homeless in the first place. So in today's video, I will be discussing the different reasons why I ended up homeless in 2020, how I took accountability for all of those reasons, and what taking accountability did for my life in helping me eventually find a home. The easiest way for me to describe why I ended up homeless in 2020 is to say because I suffered from crippling depression all of 2019 that left me most days in bed with the covers over my head. While that is true, while depression is a true mental illness that can overpower your life completely, there were other factors involved that had I not done or had I taken care of before the depression hit, I might not have ended up homeless. In 2016, I made the decision to quit my high-paying job to become a full-time rideshare driver. I did this because I wanted to have the freedom to go after my goals and dreams while still being able to support myself and my younger brother. I was my brother's legal guardian at the time. He was 17. Being a rideshare driver meant that I could choose my own hours, be my own boss, and it meant that I was never broke. Because if I ever needed to pay a bill that came up out of the blue, I knew that I could drop everything, go drive for a couple of hours, cash out my earnings instantly, and pay that bill. While those can all be positive things, they led me to creating some bad habits. Because I knew that I could make money at any time, I decided that I wasn't going to work unless I absolutely needed to. I decided that even though I set a schedule for myself before I quit my job, that I wasn't going to stick to that schedule. I decided to work only Thursday nights through Sunday morning. And then the rest of the time I would have to do whatever I wanted to do. And majority of that time I did nothing. I didn't save any money because there was never anything in my bank account. I only worked so that I could make money for a specific thing. And then I stopped when I had the money for that specific thing. So when depression hit me in 2019, it just exasperated those bad habits that I already had. Monday through Thursday, I'm in bed with the covers over my head. It felt like I was living with a weighted blanket 24/7. I was sad. I was angry at myself that I should be here, and my life was here, and I was just living in self-pity and wallowing in it, and just in bed with the covers over my head was the only way that I could get through that. But because I knew I still had bills to pay, Thursday night through Monday morning, I would work myself to the bone. I would leave my house at Thursday at 8 p.m. and I would not come home until Monday at 10 a.m. There are 3 points of accountability here. 1, I was not managing my time wisely. 2, I was not managing my money wisely. And 3, I was stuck in a cycle that I knew would not end well. And I knew I needed to make a change. However, it was easier for me to stay stuck in that cycle of depression than for me to make the change. So I decided to continue the cycle. On top of all of that, I was a horrible tenant. Something happened within my first 2 years of living in my apartment complex, and I didn't like the way that the leasing office handled it. So instead of forgiving and moving on, I kept a grudge, and I was rude, which didn't make any sense because my rent was late every single month. Getting a 3-day notice to pay or quit became my norm. How am I up here being rude to you when I'm not even taking care of my responsibilities? So all of this led to September 25th, 2019. My brother Leland calls me and he tells me that he cannot pay his portion of our rent that month. Our rent is due by the 5th of every single month. His portion was $300. He cannot pay any of that. I had already spent the last 5 days working nonstop to make my portion. I had no more left in me to keep going. I called the leasing office and asked for an extension. How many times can you ask for an extension before it becomes taking advantage? At that point, I was taking advantage. And so I was told that I needed to pay the full amount by Monday or the eviction process would be started. But as I said, I had already given up and I was done. I literally had no more strength left. And so when ish hit the fan, and it did, I fought like hell. We won one part of the case, but the ultimate part of the case we lost, and we were evicted on December 2nd, 2019. Depression played a large part in my eviction. But if I'm being truly honest and taking accountability for my actions, me mismanaging money, mismanaging my time, being rude to people, and choosing to stay in a cycle that I knew was doing me no good are also very important reasons why I became homeless in 2020. Furthermore, when we discuss depression, it's important for me to point out that my depression stems from the trauma I faced growing up homeless. That trauma that I never dealt with. That trauma that I pushed down and buried deep. That, although I like to think, helped, but in reality, did nothing good for me. I spent the last 10 years afraid of becoming homeless again, doing everything I could, pushing myself to the brink so that I would never have to face that trauma again. And here I was, facing that trauma again. So, if we're really and truly being honest, not dealing with the trauma from the beginning is also an important reason why I became homeless. Hi Queen, so this video is actually running a bit long and I don't want to cut too much out because I want to make sure that all the details are there so that you have the full picture. For that reason, I'm going to cut this video into 2 parts. That was the end of part 1. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to join the 4B community, that can be arranged. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any content. Part 2 will be posted next week. Thank you so much again. And remember, everything I do, everything I say is to show you that you are magnificent. You are powerful. You have purpose. I see the queen in you.